What we're talking about is energy here. We can't deal with the day side anymore because the day side is after the fact. It only becomes day after you go to the night. So in actuality, we got to deal with the dark side. And from the darkness, you get the light. So we can see what they're doing is they understand the high science. They say, well, if they keep on dealing with the light is already a manifested creation. That means it was created eons ago. And the only thing it can do is uphold the creation that you in. And this creation is we catching hell. In order to do it, you got to go what? Back to the drawing board. Right? I must preface this, and I must preface it throughout the lecture. We're not talking about evil as far as moralism. We're talking about energy. We're talking about a glass of water based on a glass of gasoline, Clorox, nitroglycerin. Right? You understand this? So then we're not talking about evil as far as some shit that don't exist. We're more advanced than that, than fundamentalism. That's for the people who are ignorant and don't understand that this thing is much more advanced than that. So we're talking about gasoline, bleach, nitroglycerin, ammonia, acid, that kind of stuff. Shit we throw on your ass and you be. It ain't like water. You ain't taking no bath. You trying to get it off you. You run into the water. This is the kind of scunion we talking about that the cracker needs. You see, but it's not physical. We're talking about a train of thought. The only way you're going to line up the melanin, which is the darkness. The word Satan only means melanin. We'll go into the science on that today. Soot on, black opening. You're not dealing with the melanated side. You go to the church and you preach against your higher self, your true self. So we're going to deal with this today because this is a historical part because it's never been done before. And let's put it this way. I've been talking about this for the last 3, 4, 5 years, but I never directed an entire lecture. You see what I'm saying? An entire lecture on that. So right now, let's get the libations going. What we're going to do today, we're going to pour the lecture. We're going to pour the libations also to a group of deities called the Titans. Very key that you understand that. The Titans are nothing but ancient black people that got killed off a long time ago and made into humans, which is now you. Stop thinking like a human. You're more than humans. And you are above the gods. You are above the gods. The gods have kept us down here. You see what I'm saying? Playing with our ass. Book of Law said there is no God where I am. You are above the gods. Your energies and primal chaos beings of primal matter. That's the difference between you and the other races of people. Now, this is history. You're going to have to deal with it. And Brother Heru brought this to my attention about the cloning center being announced in Atlanta. On what, Channel 5, right? You told me Channel 5. Channel 5, you told me that. Now, that's interesting that they would come on TV. Yeah, Robert Seed Cat. Now, this is like I told you so in some hindsight shit. Because the simple fact that we've been dealing with this since 95. Well, we've been dealing with it longer than that. On the cloning, we mentioned it, but as far as the cloning science, we've been dealing with it in 95. And so since you know that they have had cloning since 1945, you can see through the lies. The only key on the reason why they're introducing it and they're talking more and more about it is because they want it to be commonplace where you don't think about it no more. Oh, you know they can clone a long time ago. And so one guy said something very interesting. They said, don't you think you're playing with God? He said, hey. And he broke the science down on how they put things out here and gradually get you used to it. He said, well, hell, he said, let's see. 10 years ago, he said 20 years ago, we was talking about artificial insemination. And people was talking about, oh, they're playing with God. He said, now, shoot, that's just like buying a lottery ticket. See what I'm saying? He said, and 20 years before that, they had this whole abortion thing. And then 20 years, then in the 70s, they went ahead and did that whole, what's that, Roe versus Wade thing? And you was they're playing with God. But now it's just like buying a lottery ticket. You know what I'm saying? Or getting the Chinese cookie. So now they're talking, he's saying, so now they're talking about cloning. And what he was basically saying was, hell, they're going to have it so, man, until you just like going to a tanning booth. But we already know they got to bring this particular information on top of the ground to save their race and to eradicate the rest of us. One of the keys is they have had this technology since 1945. So therefore, you are seeing it now. So we're not just talking about futuristic shit. We're seeing the damn government do this, and this Steve brother, Steve, so he's going ahead with it. He's basically telling them, hey, I'm going ahead with it on top of the ground. You see what I'm saying? So now this is very interesting because we've been talking about this thing for the last 2 or 3 years, and to us, the conscious community, this shit is old. Especially the ones that have been hearing my tape. It's like, damn, we already know that shit. But you're seeing it on the TV now. And it's very key at this particular time because they got this whole debate going down, and that's very interesting, you see. So that's very interesting. Now, also in the newspaper, they announced this big black hole in space, this oozing out this so-called black substance. See what I'm saying? But remember now, we're talking about the deal is on the spiritual path is they got people who view the universe as an objective reality is only dealing with the hologram. So what is out there is actually down here, and that's only a reflection on a TV screen. It's actually going on now. So the black hole is oozing stuff. It's got something to do with your energy and what is oozing out of you. You got to back this thing up because everything that's happening in the cosmos is happening in you. So it's just like in my man's book. In my man's book, Gerson Trulam's Kabbalah said that both God and man inside of them have the whole cosmos. And what God is the most potential, man completes it and manifests it. So God is only a big ball of potential, but his program is carried out through man, or through the black man and black woman. But he also goes here and says that it can only be done by Neoplatonic substance. So based on, you understand Neoplatonism comes from Hermeticism. Hermeticism comes from Tahutiism, and it's basically talking about alchemy and Neoplatonism, and alchemy is nothing but the study of melanin. So when he says the only way that change can happen in the universe is through the melanin, because any scientific thing knows you don't get stuff from the mass, you get it from the smallest atom. You understand? That's any kind of science. You got to break it down to the least common denominator. So therefore, the smallest is the most powerful. So therefore, the Neoplatonic energy in the cosmos is inside of us. And so when they come on in the newspaper and say that we got this big black hole oozing out this dark matter, you know that in actuality, that's only a reflection of what's happening to you. You illuminating. So the dark matter is here now, but you got to face the shit. Now, another thing is you got to reprogram your mind because it's very lonely. And what I mean by that is we've been praying to something higher than us so long until when you say, well, no, we got to manifest that. We are that now. That's very lonely because you don't have no excuse anymore.